What's up guys, it's LaxBeat here with another mesh tutorial. I know I've made a lot of 10D hard mesh string tutorials, but I feel like I should do another just because I always change the way I string. You're learning when you string heads, never stops. You know, you need to find stuff to improve on, and you do it. So, you're going to need some hard mesh or coated mesh. It's pretty popular right now. This person just asked for some hard mesh, and you're going to need some sidewalls and some shooters. I don't have the sidewalls or the shooters out right now, so I'm not positive what color they need. But and then obviously a head to string, and if you want a shaft, I'm just using one for the tutorial. I don't normally use a shaft when I string a head. This string is so long because it's my top string, and I'm using it for triangle top string. These two are same length as their sidewalls, and this is a bottom string. Just to give you an idea, I'll show you when I put the camera here. Alright, so when I cut my triangle top string, I make it an arm's length, and then from there to my other shoulder, so from my arm to my far shoulder is my top string for a triangle top string. For my sidewalls, is just from my fingers to my shoulder, and the bottom string just to the middle of my arm. I'm 6'2" though, so it shouldn't affect it too much if you cut it about the same, but just keep that in perspective, that everything it's going to come out different if you're a lot shorter or a lot taller. So let's get to work. This person wanted a mid-high pocket, high hold, mid-whip, and alright, I'm going to show you how to do it. So first off, take your mesh, fold over the 9 diamond row, just like that. Just fold it over, and let me see if I can zoom in. I don't think I can. I'm gonna move this. Give me one sec. Trying to give you guys a better view. Okay, I'll move this up even further. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get to work. So you're gonna fold over that 10 diamond row, or your 9 diamond row. Once you got that folded over, you're gonna get to the back of the head. And you want the rough side to be where the ball is going to go. So, rough side here, smooth side on the back. Then you're going to make yourself a basic knot. So what you're going to do is you're just going to make 2 loops and put the bottom of the string through those 2 loops. Ta-da! That makes a bigger knot so that it guarantees you the string won't slip through. And kind of added a tutorial on this side because it's kind of hard to fit more than one string through here. I'm going to try, but if not, I'll show you what to do. So first off, you're going to get your string and you're just going to put it through either the first or the second hole. I would recommend the first, but it depends on the head. Here I'm going to do the second, and then you're going to go through the front side of the mesh, pull that all the way up, pull it to the side. Then through that same hole, you're going to go above that, through the outside of the hole, over that, and through. If the holes are too small, just use another hole, or loop it around the head. So, yep. Alright. Alright, so that is looped. You want to make that really tight and hold it to the side. If I had more room in that hole, I would do a second one, but I can't because there's not enough. Actually, let's do it. I'll make it work. Put it through that hole again. Yeah, that's fine. And then go above that and do your second loop. That'll make sure it's really tight. Because because you always look for tightness and consistency when you're stringing ahead to give it that perfect pocket. So you can see I just did a double loop on that. If you're having trouble with that, just go back and watch that again, because for new people or for inexperienced people it might be a little hard. Next, you're just going to come through the outside of the head, through the loop, or through the diamond, then through that loop you just made. And you're going to want to match the middle of that diamond to the top of the hole. Just like that. You got to pull that diamond over as much as possible. And if it's not going all the way, that's fine. Just make sure that the middle ones are really nice and even. See, like that. And try and make the string in the middle of that hole, because you're going to be doing stuff around that. Then you're going to do the same thing next. It's called an over knot. You just go over through the head, underneath through the diamond, through the loop. And as you're doing that, just kind of pull the mesh over to try and get it centered. Like that. Straight like that. Okay. Now you're going to do an under knot. So what you're going to do next to make it even, like I said, you're always looking for consistency, evenness, and stuff like that. You're going to go down through the mesh, up through the hole, and then through that loop. And this one's the most important, because you got to make sure that the middle diamond is centered on the head. So this one's a little bit interesting, you could say. It's probably the hardest part of it, although the triangle thing is kind of hard if you're not used to it. So you're going to pull that string and then pull that through while you're pulling the mesh. It's not easy, but you get used to it. And then you're going to look at the front of the mesh and see if it's in the middle of those two holes. And I'm going to need to move it over a little more. So I'm just going to work on that. Alright, great. It's there. Alright, and then we're going to do one more under knot. So just down through the mesh. Down through the mesh. Up through that hole. And then through that loop. Pull it tight. Pull the string through. Ta-da. Then you're going to reverse what you did at the beginning. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down through the diamond, through that corresponding loop. So since I chose the second hole, I'm going to do the second hole again. Push that string over to make sure it's in the middle. Pull it. Keep it held tight. Go down beneath that string through the hole of the mesh, and then back through that same spot, the same hole. You're going to pull it until you get close to pulling it to the side of the head. Then you're going to make sure that it's straight, and then you're going to pull it in as tight as possible. And then the reason we do two is to make sure that it's completely pulled to the side. So we're going to go beneath that again, and then through that loop, and try and fit it underneath those two spots. Just like that. See, it's coming out. Alright. Okay, so before you pull that, you're going to make sure you pull the first one as tight as possible, and then you're going to pull the next one as tight as possible beneath that one. And sometimes, I don't know why, but certain sidewall, like I have trouble with the neon green, this is what that is, or lime green, whatever you want to call it. It might puff up because some of the string, the inside of the string gets too heavy there, I guess you'd say. So you might just want to tug on it and pull it up, and try and make sure it's not doing that to you. That's one problem I face. String. Just kind of push that through It's difficult when you've got a lot going in on it. Oh yeah, by the way, when you prepare this mesh, under hot water and condition. So like put this under a hot water. Like I just use a shower bathtub thing. I just drench it with hot water, and then not boiling hot but hot, and then put conditioner on it. Alright, so I did that double loop, and as you can see it's really tight, and I don't use 2 strings, I just use 1. So what I do is I come in through the top hole. I just go from the outside of that to the inside of that top hole right there. As you can see, it's really nice and tight. Then what you do, you come up through the front of the mesh, or through the front of the hole. So you can see it's making that bar across, the diagonal bar. You're going to go beneath that string you just pulled through, then up through the side of the mesh, or up through the side of that see, just like you're making like a circle around it. So you went through that side, now you're going to go through the opposite side, pull that really tight, pull it over so that you can fit the 3rd string through, and then just push it straight down. Now what you're going to do, you're going to flip it over, and then you're going to start making your triangles. So what you got to do is, I kind of call this a 3-dimensional kind of thing. Like say this is the 1st dimension is the rough side, 3rd dimension is the soft side, or well actually that is part of the 1st dimension because it's still the rough side. Well, you're kind of going in between. So wherever the fold is, you got to find the diamonds that are folded like that, and you got to go down through it. So you find that split, and then you just wedge it through that split. And pull that tight. Then you're coming back up through that split. Make sure it's on the front of the head. It might want to go behind for whatever reason, but you're not going to let it do that. Won't come out right. Alright, got it through. Make sure you're not pulling this diamond hole with it. You got to push that up, then pull it through. Pull it tight. Pull it way up, just like that. Then you're going to go through your next hole. Do the same thing you did earlier. So I'm going to show it through the front this time. So what you're doing is, you see this triangle thing I've made? I'm going to go beneath that with the string. Alright. Then you're going to pull it tight again. Pull it through. Pull it to the side. Tight. Then you're going to go through around that that knot you made, the under knot, and then you're going to pull that tight. You're going to push them over so you can fit that 3rd string through, and then push it back down and pull that tight. As you can see, that makes that triangle formation, and you're just going to continue that. So I'll do it one more time. Well, actually 2 more times because only did it once so far. Alright, so down through, pull it tight, go back up through the opposite side of that split on the middle part. If you're confused by the dimension things, just don't be confused by it, because I just confuse myself with it. Just get it through the middle of the split. It can be really annoying trying to get these things done. Trust me. Alright, so you got that. Pull it up. Pull it really tight. Go back through that next hole. Pull that really tight. Well, actually you're just going to loosen it down anyway so you can go underneath of it, but you're going to have to pull it tight after. So go beneath that. Pull that tight now, and then go around. Pull it tight to the side. Go through the opposite side. Pull it tight. Pull it over to the side so you can get the third string through. Yada yada. Got that done. Got one more to do. I'm gonna show you the back side this time. So you're coming through the split. Alright, it's hard for me to do it from this angle, but hold on. I'll try and show you it. See, just like that. Pull it tight. Go back up. Pull it up, alright, like that. Pull it up tight. Then you're going to go through that next hole. Find your way through the diamond and the triangle to fit that string through. This one's a little bit difficult for whatever reason. Sometimes it'll give you some trouble, sometimes it won't. That's just string. Alright, got it through. Pull it up tight. Loop it around. You know the drill. Go back up. Push it over. Fit the third string through. And now we're actually done. We just gotta find that first hole. Put it right through there. Alright, pull that tight. And then you got to make your double knot, so you got to be really tight with this. You got to make your knot, make a loose knot, then pull the bottom and pull the string while you're holding that knot down, just like that. And then you're going to make a knot underneath of that, so you're going to fit the string beneath it. Make sure everything's really tight. You should be pulling really tight to make that second knot. There you go, that's a triangle top string right there. We got it done. 9 diamond row triangle top string done. Stretch out your mesh, know where you want to put your pocket, and I'll start the sidewalls. Alright, so got the sidewalls here, like I said, arm's length. We're going to do the same knot we did at the beginning, just make your 2 loops. Bam, put them through the 2 loops, pull it tight. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room on that string just so it doesn't come undone. Put that on both sides. Like that. You're going to put them both through the same holes. Make sure they're through on the same holes. I'm going to just start at the next one. Like that. So I just started on the next hole. What I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to make a loop. So I'm just going to go up through the front of the diamond, back through the hole, the outside of the hole. It's like what we did earlier, except I'm not doing a double. And then back up through. And I'm going to move this little flippy thing, I don't know what to call it. I'm going to move that out of the way and then pull it tight. And then whatever you do on that side, you're going to have to do on the other side. And I do them right after each other, so it's going to come underneath. through the hole. Beneath it, and then back up through. Move this thing out of the way, pull it tight. Alright, now if you can interlock this, do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to this hole without going through any mesh. I'm going to come up through the mesh and then through that loop I made. I'm going to interlock that. See how that pulls it down? It's holding it tight up here while pulling it down. It's kind of a neat trick. And it pulls that diamond really tight. Do that on both sides, so you're just coming through the outside of the hole, through the front side of the mesh, and through that loop. Oh, I did that on a different diamond. Should have done it on the same. Like that. Pull it tight down. If you don't pull it tight, it's not worth your time. And we're going to do an interlock on the next one too, just because that one's really tight. So you can see that it's really forcing us. You got to make sure you're forcing a nice tight channel. You're just going to pull that down and do the same thing you did there. Interlock is what it's called. Do that on both sides. Just go through the outside of the head, through the diamond, and then through the loop. Pull it tight. Do that again. This head's pretty weird, otherwise I would be pulling it down tighter. I mean, it is tight, but I just did another interlock there. Kind of strange head. Again, pull that down. Actually, no. I can make it. You gotta really stretch the diamond, so I'm gonna try and force it, and I'm gonna skip a hole. And I'm going to interlock. There we go. Look at that. See, force it. Force it and you'll get a nice channel. Down like that. It's a deep, deep interlock. Alright, so we're going to do that on both sides, obviously. We're going to skip a hole. On my side, you're probably going to skip a lot more holes, just because this has a few holes. And then, I recommend when you do the next thing, do it on this side, just so this stays as tight as the other side. So what I'm going to do, since this guy wants a mid-high, I'm going to do a single. I'm just going to go underneath the diamond and then pull it down through the head and then through the loop. And that's an upward single, not a downwards, because I went up through the mesh, not down through it. And we're going to do it on the opposite side as well. Just pull that thing down, just like that. Alright. Now, since he wants a mid-high, I'm going to have to start making the pocket itself. So after this interlocks, or the singles, I'm going to make a double. Make sure when you do this that it's still pulling the mesh down. See, look, I pull that, you can see that it's really forcing that channel. That's what you want. Give you that nice hold. Pull it down, and then pull your strings down and kind of punch the pocket a little bit. Make sure it's level. The channel's not completely taking over the head, but it's still, you can see right there, the outline of the channel's already there. Alright, and then I only went through one diamond so far, but we're going to do a double. So we're going to come through two diamonds, push them up together, and then come through that next hole. And then do that same thing on the other side. So you kind of push your pocket where you want it to be, make sure it's able to do that. Alright, Now, what I like to do from here is I want to count the diamonds I have just to know where I gotta end up. So, see, you're gonna count the 10 diamond holes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're gonna want 10 going across. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do another double because I have plenty of diamonds left. So I'm gonna do 2 more diamonds pushed together. Pull the mesh up while I do that and force it like that. So I might go across like and skip a hole over this double. It all depends. I don't know. This is a weird head. Hopefully you have a easier head to string, but I don't know. I like to challenge myself in the tutorials for whatever reason. Alright, pull the strings down and push your pocket. See where it's going. Mine's kind of mid-high. That's where I want it. Very good. Alright, now we know where our pocket is. This is for mid-high, obviously. So we're going to do singles down the rest of the way. So what you're going to do, you're just going to go through the rough side of the mesh. And then through the head, and then loop through the loop. I did that one as a tight single just because it looked like I needed to hold the pocket. By tight single I mean I didn't skip any holes when I did it. See, pocket's still up there. But now I don't want the pocket to be down here, so I want to space out the diamonds more down here. So I'm gonna go down to this one when I do the single. Same on the other side, through the rough side of the mesh. Make sure everything's tight, through the rough side of the mesh, down through the head, through the loop. Push it. Alright, and then come down through. And I like to be able to come through the outside and go in, and it looks like I should be able to. So I'm going to come through the outside of the head when I do that last one, and then go in through the next one down here. Pull it down tight. And when you do that, it forces the diamond to go the outside rather than the inside, and it won't bunch up there. Neat trick I recently learned. So you pull like that, and then punch your pocket. Make sure it's still where you want it to be. See, it's nice and up there. The bottom string will cut it down so it can be where it wants to be. Alright, so then you can just pull those with a knot like I did on the first, the top string. You're just going to pull that string down tight, and you're going to make a knot. You're going to pull it while holding that knot formation, and then make a knot underneath that. Trust me, it takes practice to make it as tight as you need it. Alright, and then do that on the opposite side as well. Alright, punch your pocket. See, it's got nice definition, even though I don't have the bottom string in yet. It wants to be up there. Now grab your bottom string, make your double knot, 2 loops, and go through the 2 loops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up through this same hole that I finished off with, put my string through there. I'm just going to go through this hole next to the 10, up through this one, and then I'm going to go all the way down, trace it down to the next to the finished sidewall there, and then go down through that one and pull it down through that same spot. Pull it tighter. see, since I pulled it really tight, it forces the pocket to go up here, like so. So I'm going to pull that tight. Not really tight, but pretty tight. Make that knot. Make the knot underneath that. Hold on, let me get a drink and punch. Alright. So we got our sidewalls and our top string done, and our bottom string done. Now what we're going to do, we're going to grab the ball, see how it's working out. Okay, good. Should be able to come out of the head. If it doesn't, you pulled the channel too tight or you screwed something else up. Kind of cradle around with it, see where the ball goes when you don't punch it. You can see mine's sitting mid-high where the kid wanted it. Should have some decent hold already, like that. Alright. Now what I like to do, since I'm about to put the shooters in and that's going to add some more whip, I just like to push out this channel, because it's going to be pushed out when you play with it anyways. So you just kind of push around with it. It's not going to get rid of it.